I'll get it.
Le vamos a joder esto.
Enseñar el pequeño.
Oi, carne.
MTV News.
Oh, hey.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Have you met Kurt Loder?
No.
Kurt,
I've seen him walking around.
This is Mark Doc.
Good, how are you doing?
This is Mark.
Hey.
Michael. Mark's going to be producing our special on your show.
Oh, yeah?
So we're just asking if we can ask you a few questions. Kurt can do a quick interview with you. You got a moment?
Yeah.
Just 3-4 questions.
Because it's a heavy subject. It's nothing heavy in it.
No.
Because I don't mind doing that, but like in
It's
later
something
time,
like tell us about Madonna.
Just making up. Where's...
Will there be actual bullfighting scenes in this, or?
Yeah, after this. But it's a really weird number because the thing is that the guy, the matador who we're using, he's a real fantastic matador. He's like, he's not really flash or vulgar with the bull. He's real classical. So it's like the subculture of this is very mysterious and very interesting.
Yeah.
And the fact is that to bring in like, to fill this with 4,000 people and have him fight a fake fight, where you're not going to do a real bullfight, where you're not going to pick and you're not going to band the arrow, he just won't do it. Do you know what I mean? Because to him, when we leave, he's supposed to be a bullfighter, not an actor. So the thing is that we have to do a bullfight with no one here. It's like,
was it hard to get him to take part in this? I mean, how did you approach him?
It's really weird because I mean I've been interested in the Corrida, just bullfighting, just fascinated with it for a while. And he was someone I'd seen when I was in Seville during a feria. He was carried out on like the shoulders of the whole town and taken to his house, and he's very interesting. And just going through it all, we didn't want, because it's getting kind of popular again in Spain, and it's becoming, a lot of people are doing, like I said, real flash things, and this guy he's very traditional, and he's got, no one's talking in this, it's not a feature film, so you need someone that reads like a matador, and he's gypsy, and he's dark, and he's real, and he's cold, so he's a hero, he's a great guy. But he was really interested in doing it, so I think it's about, and they all are trying to outdo each other, these matadors. Publicity is everything for them. If they're good in publicity, if they're very popular, they get more contracts for the summer. So
I heard there was a movement to maybe ban bullfights in Spain. Is that true?
Well, I might be the wrong person to ask. I mean, I'm sure I have no idea. And to ban it, I mean, it's like a heavy subject, the Spanish would have to ban it, and it's to come from England or America to try to ban something here is tricky.
Yeah. No, I had heard that there was a movement of like young student radicals that were interested in. I don't know.
Very well could be. Very well could be. I don't live here, so I really don't know.
Where are you based?
I live out in London now. So,
Can we just get a little bit about the process of making a video like this? Do you pitch the idea? Was the idea pitched to you?
Yeah. Do they have the idea already?
Storyboard or
all right. It's actually very interesting. The thing is that originally doing this video, Madonna and I talked about it, and it was about falling in love with a public figure. So it opens the world up to a lot of public figures. Kurt Loder, no, you know, I mean, anyone on TV basically.
Yeah.
It could be a movie star, it could be a lot of things. And it was, but we didn't want it to be too sappy, number one, and the other thing, not too morbid, you know. And so there's a fine line on the edge there. And so the original idea, I remember I met her in Paris, and we were talking about it, and it had something, and then we started talking about bullfighting. She said, I've been thinking about this. I said, really, because it's something I'm interested in. I've been filming some corridas, and I don't know enough about it, but it's a fascinating subject. And pretty soon we started saying, well, what if it was a matador? Is at the edge? Is there a mystery to this person, this public figure, that no one else knows about? And it's something that's interesting, because you can go to a bullfight, and I've been to them, and it's all in front of you what happens, but the most interesting part is what happens behind the scenes, when the guy's dressed, and it's like a, you know, it's a ritual.
Yeah.
The candles are lit, and there's so many superstitions, you know, because he puts his life on line every day. If he had, like, you know, a certain card placed in a certain place, he'll do it again if it was a good fight. So, I mean, that was the process, really, just trying to, of making a bullfight, a story. It's not a video about bullfights. It's about falling in love with the matador. And the actual bullfight isn't what it's all about, but you have to see what the guy does. And we're trying to turn it more into beauty of passing and everything like that.
Given how seriously the Spanish take the subject, was it hard to get them to agree to let you use this ring, for example?
You know what, I'll tell you, there was one decent advantage, was that I'd been to enough in a year and a half that at least I wasn't talking to them like, take the bull, and does he go through a cape? At least I knew, you know, the toro and the torero. At least I knew certain passes. And I think that they opened up a little more when we approached them and said, listen, we're not just going to come in here and just exploit a bullfighter. We actually know what happens, and we were a little knowledgeable about it, you know.
How would Madonna become aware of you when she followed your work?
I had no idea. No idea. I mean, I don't know.
Is she good to work with?
Yeah. I mean, this is our second day of shooting, and I'm having a ball. I mean, yeah, it's great.
Now, will she meet the bullfighter in a house in Rwanda tomorrow? Is that how?
Oh no, they've already met. It was a fantastic meeting, these two together. It was really cool, because it was they're both in their own worlds. Do you know what I mean? Even though Madonna's world touches all these people, it's a bubble. You know, I think that because, you know, look at all these people coming around here, you know, just to see her, and she can't exactly go out. And his world is very closed too. And there was a really interesting thing. He said, well, I'm an artist. I'm not as big as artist as you, because I don't like to publicly portray myself, and I don't play up to that as much. And she says, well, that's not about being an artist. That's about being ambitious. He said, well, then you make sure then you're very ambitious. And it was great, because they both laughed, and it's really good. They're both individuals, and they're very smart, both of them, real witty, and it was really cool learning that.
Is there a happy ending to this story? I mean, Madonna doesn't get gored in the end.
No. she doesn't get gored, but no, it's not. Your heart kind of goes out to everyone. In other words, it's about two people that come together from two different worlds, both public figures. They come together, but that's not going to last, and they can't stay together. And it's always sad when you have to, you know, they have to go their own way. And in essence, her heart is broken in the end. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, shucks. Well, no, it's interesting that she doesn't get the upper hand. I mean, but yeah, that's what happens.
Well, I look forward to seeing how that goes. Now, what remains to be done? Do you have, what kind of scenes you'll be shooting in Rwanda?
We've really just started. I mean, yesterday was very interesting, because it was all about him getting dressed. And that's like a really fantastic ritual in itself. And so that was a full day of that. Today we're doing basically her audience reaction shots, and then doing the bullfight with no crowd. And so that's, and then after that we have them together, because basically what happens is that as the bullfight progresses, it's, you know, you kind of montage them getting together, and then close up with them making love and the bull passing and everything.
Sounds hot. Okay,
I
good.
just ask one more thing about the difference between shooting a video on location like this, or in various locations in Spain, as opposed to doing a studio.
It's
video.
a big difference, and it's a complete different strategy in lighting and in looking at anything. Because what you do is that instead of going in there and trying to overpower what you have, you really use the sets you have, and you walk in a room and you look around and you say, the light is right here. It's really nice, and you don't have the room to put big lights out and do things. So you make it more like a film instead of, you know, and that's the whole thing with shooting Madonna in this, is like, it's real. And she's playing herself, you know, and it's like, we're using the real light, the real sets.
Is this ring better than the one in Rwanda?
No, Ronda's magnificent. It's the oldest ring in the world, oldest bullfight ring, and it's really fantastic. But we had trouble, you know. It's like the guys that ran it, they were a little touchy on some things. But this is like I think it's the second oldest. I'm not sure, but it looks like the famous ring in Seville miniaturized, and it's a beautiful ring. I think it's great. Ronda's is a different look. It's like a Roman Coliseum almost.
Yeah. I know Americans probably think, well, this is really being cruel to animals, but how would you explain to them that there's a lot more to it than that?
Well, okay, it is being cruel to animals because there's death, you know what I mean? And that's something that I don't think that we can really... First you have to go there and see it and understand it, but it's a really heavy subject, you know? Yeah. It's a really heavy subject because it's like, for me, I'm not for bullfighting, I'm not against bullfighting. It's just taking a stance as a filmmaker, I'm just documenting it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And what exists there. And it all goes back to, you know, like the history of Spain. These bulls used to run wild, and the men would kill them from horses because they would hit their cattle and hit their horses. Yeah. And they'd bring them into a plaza, and they would show the whole town, look, we're getting rid of the bulls. Then the guy stepped off a horse, and he did a move with a cape one time, and so it started this ritual. Yeah. And I think without bullfighting, you know, the bull he would be extinct because he just was, you know, in zoos or something. Yeah. But I don't want to put my foot in my mouth on anything about that subject. It's really touchy. There's a lot of people against this.
That way. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. What's your next project after this?
I think a commercial for Pepe jeans, and I don't know. After this, I need a break, man. I really do.
You're in the right place.
This has been so heavy, really heavy. It's like.
Is this a good amount of time for you to shoot this? I mean, a 4 or 5 days, 5 day shoot. Is
6 days.
6 days.
It's 6
enough,
days.
Or are you
it's
cramming
never
it in?
enough. It's never enough. I mean, really, I thought 6 days fantastic for a music video that's kind of like a movie, but it's really difficult even in 6 days. I mean, look, we drive an hour and a half to get to this bull ring. Then we go back, and since it's not a studio, you know, you're playing with sunlight going in and out of the windows, and it's difficult. We need 10 days. And then what happens if you make it 10 days? Then you make a bigger shoot, you know, and it's all relative.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Right, thanks a lot.
We appreciate it. Good luck with this. We'll be seeing you over the next couple of days. Can we just ask you to sign a release for us?
No.
Steve, I'm killing this a minute. It's a free feature.
Don't pull it.
And, good enough to run it around the back then.
Is this at your eye level? Or is it higher? Good.
Well, have you? I'm just trying to be safe, but we haven't got enough of it. You know what I'm saying?
What you do there?
See, can you take me under? I should write you.
If you kind of sit on both sides of this, you might find it more.
Oh, it's all right. If I don't hit anything, okay.
Yeah. Booming up at the end of that? Booming down? Booming up.
It's really nice. Because you're not going to get her face in about what you do. I referred all the touchy questions to you.
What question?
I said, what do you think controversial bullfighting? That's really it. There you go. That's a technical thing.
Yeah. Can I go any closer to this?
I'm nicking it off the boys with the legs otherwise.
Pardon me?
Yes.
No, the light.
This way.
The light can go this way at all.
No.
Okay,
on the
that's
tray.
it. Okay, good. Okay, let me have that silk we had up.
The silk?
Yeah. And it's angled weird. Let's tilt it down a little and angle it a little towards me.
The lamp?
Tilt it down a tiny bit.
Tilt the lamp down, Dave, please. Down.
No,
down.
no, that's up.
Yeah.
Bring it down a bit, Dave. Okay. Tilt it down, pan it up towards me.
Okay,
Pan
good. Now
left,
raise
left.
it up. No, make it level. Power the bottom of the. Yeah, good.
Okay,
now
now
raise it
pan
up.
it to you a bit.
Raise it up.
Going up now. Mind you.
That's it. Come on down.
Take it down.
Split the difference. Good. Okay, let's see that silk.
Silk, don't really lose this.
I still want to take it off of here.
We're taking it off there at the moment, but we're getting...
Silk won't do it. Okay.
Hold on, done. I can take it back a bit for you. Careful, boys.
Back up the light a bit.
Back it off, coming off. Back the light off a bit with Dave, please.
Ray, just be careful where you step.
Come.
Honey, ¿coge la quita?
Es una madrina, tú puedes echar la otra.
La madrina y el padrino. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead inside. Let's get a wide angle.